Now for this enhanced portrait assignment, the first thing I'm going to do is open up my picture. And to do so, I'm going to click on File, and from there I'm going to click on Open and find the file. Now my file is found on my desktop and it's called Enhanced. So I'm going to open that up, and the first thing I'm going to do is maximize my work area. So you'll notice this picture is now within this window, and I actually want to use my full work area. So what I'm going to do is drag that window until a blue line comes up, and I'll let go of the mouse, and now it fills my work area. When I look at the picture I'm working with, I've noticed that the photographer didn't center the portrait. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and to do so I'm going to use my crop tool to the left. I'll be clicking on that, and I want to make sure that my aspect ratio is 4:6 with a width of 4 and a height of 6 at the top. And then I'll be cropping over the picture, centering it, and checking it off. So this is the picture I'm going to be working with. Now at this point I might want to save this, and I'll be saving it as a PSD. So let's go to File, let's go to Save As, and from here I want to make sure that the format is not a JPEG, which is a compression method, and I don't want to lose quality over time by compressing the picture. So let's use PSD, and let's save it as enhanced.psd. Now when I look at this picture, I notice there's a yellow color cast to it, so things look a bit yellowish, and what I'm going to do right now is fix that. And to do so, I'll go to Enhance at the top, and under Enhance you'll find something called Adjust Color, and from Adjust Color you're going to be clicking on something called Remove Color Cast. Now this tool asks you to choose a part of the picture that should be gray. Now I'm lucky, the color of my sweater here, or my jacket, is gray, so I'm going to select that, and it should do an okay job at fixing the colors within this picture. Here I notice it's a bit cold. Let's find another point until I'm happy. And I think I'm happy with this. So let's click OK. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, this picture is slightly underexposed, so I'm going to fix that using levels. And to do so, I'm going to press Ctrl L, and when I press Ctrl L, it brings up my level box. What I want to do right now is get rid of all that empty space which is to the right. To do so, I'm going to drag this over, and that should fix the exposure in my picture. Now I don't want to drag it over too much, because I'm going to blow out certain areas, certain skin tones, and I don't want that. So I'm going to bring it to about right here, and I'm going to click on OK. So there we have it. This is the picture we're going to be working with. We've taken care of the color cast and also the levels. So let's save that again. File and Save. And let's start the process of enhancing this picture. What I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is whiten the eyes. To do so, let's zoom into our picture. So the easiest way of zooming in is by pressing Ctrl plus, and I'm pressing that a few times to zoom into the eyes. Now I'm also going to be creating some new layers here, so I'm going to press Ctrl J for a new layer, and the top layer, or layer 1, is the layer I'm going to be working with. The tool I'm going to use to whiten my eyes is the Dodge tool, and you can find that to the left part of your screen. It's a tool that's found by right-clicking on your sponge tool, and the dodge tool is the tool you want to use. And this will allow you to whiten the eyes. Now the settings for this tool will be the following. You're going to need a soft brush. The size for mine, for the brush, is 27 pixels. And also the exposure is set at 20%, not 100%. This means that I would have to stroke over an area 5 times to apply the full effect. Now, when I brush over the whites, you want to make sure you just select the whites and not the iris. So I'm just going to brush over here, and same thing on the other side. And now I'm going to do the other eye. Now if you want to see the before and after, you can select your layer 1 and click on the eye, and then you can really see what it looks like before and after. So I'm quite happy with the results. It's not overdone because I set the exposure of the brush at 20%. So let's see what that looks like. So I'm happy with the results. So from here, I'm going to collapse these layers by pressing Control, Shift, and E. And now I'm back to one layer. Now the next step is to sharpen the iris. And to do so, we're going to be creating 3 layers. So, Control J, and then Control J again. Now we're not going to be working on our top layer here, which is called Layer 1 Copy. We're going to be working on our middle layer. So I'm going to click on the middle layer, but what I'm also going to do is click on the eye of the top layer to not make it visible. So from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen this middle layer. And probably one of the best ways to sharpen is to click on Filter, go to Other, and from Other you're going to click on High Pass. Now I'm going to sharpen this quite a bit, and for this assignment I'm going to choose a radius within the High Pass box of, how about, let's go for something around 30. And from there I'm going to click OK. And this is a very important step. What you're going to have to do right now is change the blending mode of this layer from normal to soft light. So let's do that. Just make sure you click off soft light. Some people might want to use hard light also. I'll let you decide what works best for you. Now this has sharpened my whole picture, and I just want to sharpen my eyes. So from here we're going to go back to our top layer, make it visible by clicking on the eye, and now what we're going to do is we're going to erase the detail from this layer so that the sharpened layer below it shows up. So let's zoom back into the eyes by pressing Control Plus, and from here I'm going to use my eraser tool, which is found to the left. Now, when using the eraser tool, we're going to set a size to probably something like, I think 50 might work quite well for this. Also, the opacity, we're going to set that at 100%. Now from here, we can start brushing over the iris. Now make sure you're just brushing over the iris. We don't want to sharpen anything else like the whites. So I've done one eye. Let's do the other eye. We don't want to sharpen the eyelashes, so just make sure you go over the iris here. And again, if you want to see the before and after, here you would select the eye on the middle layer, and that would show you sharpened and non-sharpened. So far I've whitened my whites, I've sharpened my iris, and I'm quite happy with the results. So I'm going to flatten this layer, Control-Shift-E, and I'm going to save the assignment as a PSD again. So File, Save. And that's the first part of your enhanced portrait.